Hi, hello, and if you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. The other day, I found myself doing this, and it was a bit of a shock, as it made me realise that I've owned the grey wagtail for a year. Actually, I'd received an email from the Canal River Trust, the good old CRT, in August, telling me that I had to renew, so I was aware this was coming. But it was still a shock to be putting up a new licence. So, struggling to slip the new licence into its holder got me thinking, how has my first year gone? And this video is a look at year one. Coming up, I'm going to look at what I've learned in the past year about boats, narrowboats and canals and marina life. I would also go into how much owning the grey wagtail has cost me. That is, excluding buying the boat, I will look at marina costs, how much I've spent on fuel, electricity, the licence fee, insurance, maintenance, etc. And in a second video, I will look at how much money I have made through YouTube, affiliate sales and Buy Me a Coffee. So, if you want to know how my first year has gone and whether I have become a YouTube multimillionaire, then watch this video and the next. And this brings me on to two important things. First, if you want to find out how much I have made from YouTube, etc., then the easiest way to find out when the next video on earnings arrives is to subscribe to the channel. And in preparing to make the earnings video, I learned that only about 35% of my viewers are subscribers. So please consider subscribing, as it does really help the channel. And second, even if you have or have not subscribed to the channel, please also consider subscribing to the free newsletter about my narrowboat, the grey wagtail. The QR code for a link to the newsletter is on the screen now. There's also a link in the description below this video. Why subscribe to the newsletter? Well, even if you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, you may not always see my new videos showing up in your YouTube feed. I've certainly noticed this happening to channels that I've followed for years. Channels such as Cruising the Cut, The Narrowboat Pirate, Same Ship, Different Day, etc. They post a new video and I only find out when I check my subscription section on YouTube. They don't always appear on my home page. And if you subscribe to the newsletter, you'll never miss another video, as a link to it will arrive in your email inbox. Right, what have I learnt in the first year? Well, in the first year, my boat handling skills have improved. Well, let's face it, they couldn't have got any worse, could they? Particularly if you've seen some of my earlier videos. And I'm slowly getting jobs done around the boat. I'm also recognising jobs that need to be done in a regular sort of maintenance sort of way, you know, such as cleaning out stoves, occasionally running equipment such as the Webasto heater over the summer months, and generally keeping on top of boat maintenance. Currently, my primary worry is the engine, which doesn't seem to be behaving as it did when I first bought the boat. If you've watched any of my other videos where I've been cruising out on the boat, you will know the engine has been playing up. It's developed a sort of cutting out problem, which I've not been able to fix. I've had a lot of really useful and helpful suggestions from viewers in the comments, a number of which I have followed up on, and none of which so far have fixed the problem. Anyway, I've had an engineer look at it and I'm in the process of having the engine serviced. And what it looks like is that it's a faulty fuel stop solenoid. Again, I will most probably say more about this in a later video. So hopefully, once I can get a replacement solenoid, the problem will be solved. Fingers crossed. Interestingly, now that I think about it, I can't believe that I made that first dash from the Wilton Marina over to the Cropredy Marina a year ago. Looking back with my shocking lack of sort of skill, experience and knowledge, I am amazed I actually took it on. And speaking of marinas, one early comment I received on a video was that because I was mooring the boat in a marina, I was effectively buying a static caravan. That is, I could have just bought a static caravan. Well, it's now a year and I've really enjoyed living in a marina. It's a nice place to have a base, particularly when I can't spend as much time on the boat as I would like. It's nice to know that your boat's in a safe place and being looked after. Plus the marina has good facilities I can use, such as the shower block and the laundry. It's got pump out if I had a pump out boat. It's got an Elson point for disposing of your toilet waste, and I can get fuel and gas there. So it's quite an ideal setup for me, and as I say, I'm quite happy in the marina. Finally, when looking what I have learned, I've really enjoyed reading about the history of the canals and getting to grips with how the canal systems work, how they get their water, for example. I found the story of the Fenny Compton Tunnel, a tunnel that no longer exists, and looking at the 3 reservoirs that feed the summit of the Oxford Canal particularly interesting. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with how the first year has gone and with what I have learned. But I do recognise that I have a long way to go on this, that I have a lot to learn. I think I'm making progress. I feel that I still need to improve my boat handling skills, particularly at sort of low speeds and where I need to sort of manoeuvre in very tight places. They've come on this year, but I do need to enhance my boat handling skills in the coming years. But anyway, over the year, it's been great. I've learned a lot about boats, boat maintenance, boat handling. I've also confirmed that I really enjoy cruising the narrowboat. Going up and down the Oxford Canal this summer, whilst it was still open, was great fun indeed, and I enjoyed every moment of it. There's something magical about standing on the stern of your boat, drinking a cup of tea on a summer's day, cruising along the canal. It truly is quite amazing. I enjoy the whole sort of putting along the canal, enjoying the weather, enjoying the scenery, and basically just having a good time. It's absolutely bliss. My take on what's going on is that the first year, from a sort of learning point of view and experience point of view, has really been a great deal of fun indeed. And as I said, I've learned a lot. It's been an absolute blast. That's the only way I can really describe it. As I say, I've learned a huge amount in this first year and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that it's going to be an interesting, sort of really enjoyable sort of future doing this, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there more on the canals and just basically getting to grips with it all. And I'm finding that the time I spend on the boat, whether it's in the marina or out on the canals, is time well spent. It's time that I enjoy, and that's the main thing. So overall, I'm looking forward to next year, see what it brings. Hopefully the canals will be open and I can spend a bit more time out cruising, which would be really great if that would be the case. So hopefully at some point, as I say, I will get out there again on the canals, which would be really good. Okay, so let's have a look at the cost of owning a narrowboat. Now, I'm going to look at what I call my running costs. I'm not going to be including things that I've had to buy for the boat, such as a new hoover, for example. It's just about the cost of running the grey wagtail over the past year. Now, my biggest expense is the marina. There's no two ways about it. That is my biggest expense. I'm at the Cropredy Marina on the Oxford Canal, which is owned and run by Aquavista. Now, my mooring fees for the first year, and brace yourself for this, My mooring fees for the first year were £3,300.30, a significant amount of money. Now, if we sort of break this down by month or week, it doesn't sound too bad. So when broken down by month, it comes to approximately about, well, what is it? It's approximately £275 per month, which doesn't seem overall too bad for that. And for that, I get the mooring, I get the security, I get the use of the shower block and the facilities, etc. So that's not too bad. The fees for my second year of mooring at Cropredy, because I'm going to stay there over the winter, are £3,517.26, an increase of £216.96 on the year, which is 6.6%, which is slightly higher than the current rate of inflation. So, fees for my second year come out at about £290 per month. Again, not a huge sum, but a significant sum. The licence fee for my first year was £1,318.57. However, this was a continuous cruiser licence, as when I bought it, I couldn't prove that I had a home mooring. I couldn't prove that I was moored at Cropredy. Once I had provided the CRT proof of my home mooring, this was reduced to £1,255.78. For the second year, it's £1,306, an increase of £50.22 on the year, or 4%, which is pretty much in line with inflation. My insurance for the first year was £386, and surprisingly it has decreased. Yes, a cost that has actually gone down. For the second year it's £367.45, a decrease of £18.55, or 4.8%. I'm actually shocked at that something's gone down. And the final sort of static running cost, a cost that I have to pay even if, without using the boat, was £75 for river canal rescue. This I haven't yet renewed because it's not yet due, so I can't give you a figure on that for the second year. If I add all of this up, it comes to a staggering £5,017.08, or roughly £420 per month. So, quite a lot of money indeed. So what about running costs, or what I view as sort of consumables, things like diesel, gas, electricity and maintenance? Well, these are slightly harder to track, as some of them, such as diesel and gas, I haven't fully used yet, so I don't know really how much I'm using. However, over the year I have spent £177.65 on diesel, which has been used both for cruising and heating. On gas, I have spent £54.58. That was one bottle of gas that I bought. For electricity, I have a monthly standing charge in the marina, which you'd get if you was in a house, and that monthly standing charge comes to £52 for the year. And I have used 325 kilowatt hours on the boat, which cost me £122.60. So, boat maintenance, I spent £2,204, and that was when I got the boat, and I spent that on having a full engine survey done and also some other work on the boat, such as I had the boat blacked, for example, and as I said, some other bits and pieces done around the boat. So my total expenditure on what I call consumables was £2,610.83. This means that my total expenditure for the first year of owning the grey wagtail was £8,034.74, or roughly £670 per month. And that's quite a bit of money. So that's my figures for expenditure. In the first year I've spent, as I said, just over £8,000 on the grey wagtail. Well, what about the future? What have I got planned? Well, you just have to stay tuned to find out. But I will say that I do plan to get out cruising and exploring the canals more, and I do have some big trips planned, and I'll be making videos about all of it. So watch this space. And in the next video, I will reveal how much I have made from YouTube over the last year. And if you want to know when the earnings video is out, please consider subscribing to the channel on YouTube, or signing up for the free Grey Wagtails newsletter by scanning the QR code on the screen now, or clicking the link in the description below. By signing up for the newsletter, you'll get an email containing a link through to the video. You'll get an email every time I post to YouTube, so you'll never miss another video. Okay, I'm going to stop here as I think this has gone on for long enough. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.